Hey everybody, this is Tim with the University of Vinyl. I'm back today with another new video, and I haven't done one like this in a while. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about finding upgrades to your collection and kind of the thought process behind that. What do you need to think about as far as replacing a current copy, a play copy that you may have? And that was prompted by a recent visit here in Fort Collins, Colorado, to a national chain. It's a thrift store out there that I try to visit at least once a week because there are surprises to be found there. But we'll talk about that a little later. And then part two of the video is basically a new arrivals. I've got a couple used things that I have been looking for a long time that I finally managed to find in the wild. And I also have a few new records I'm going to talk about that are actually, they're all still sealed. I am so far behind in my listening. The struggle is real, right? And then the third part of the video, I'm just going to give a little brief channel update and goings on in everything the University of Vinyl world. So please stay tuned. There's a national chain thrift store. There's a location in Fort Collins that I visit at least once a week if I can. Half Price Books, I believe, is the owner of this subsidiary chain. But every time they bring something in off the street, on their price tag, there's a date stamp. So you can walk in there and know, oh, this thing's been sitting in the shop for 2 years, or hey, this just came in last week. So very cool. And I also love the actual price tags that they have there, kind of like a sticker, not real sticky, and they peel right off without damaging covers, which is really nice. And the place is crazy. It's run by a bunch of kids, and I will go in there and they have a glass case. First of all, this place sells books, vinyl records, CDs, and comic books. And I will go in there. They've got a glass case with what they're calling high-priced vinyls. And there's some assorted old box sets in there. And then they have a milk crate with assorted records. And they have a little binder that you can actually flip through and see what the prices are, you know, without having to ask for the keys to get into the glass case. Anyway, I'm flipping through the book, and it just says Fleetwood Mac Rumors, $71. No mention of it. Of course, there's no mention of any pressing or provenance or what year the pressing was. I'm thinking it's basically a bog standard, you know, early release maybe from 1977. Is that the year Rumors came out? I think it is. Anyway, absolutely ridiculous. Prices are just kind of all over the map. And then they have a wide, expansive area of stacks and stacks and stacks of used stuff. This is where I do my best work. So it's funny, you will, in the same section, let's say the Beatles, they will have, that's actually a bad example. There's not a whole lot of Beatles stuff in there. Anyway, there will be a random two of the same records. One will be priced $29 and one will be priced $3.95. That kind of thing. And I run across it all the time in that store. The crazy thing is, I don't know where they're getting their stock, but I will occasionally find things that are still in the shrink, the shrink is still on the record. It's been opened, of course. It's a used record. But I will pop that thing open, take a look at the vinyl record, and much of this stuff is like, I don't know if it's dead stock or it's been in a warehouse for 30 years. There are some clean records to be had in this place. And if you can kind of pick and choose your price range, you can do quite well. So case in point, I was there last week and I picked up a beautiful mint, basically first press. This is, of course, Fleetwood Mac's self-titled 1975 first album with Stevie and Lindsey in the band. Some great playing, great songs on this album. And this is a Kendon Recorders pressing. It's got Kendon stamped, Kendon A and Kendon B. It's also got the Pogo. First of all, Keith Olsen was a co-producer on the album, and he has this little nomenclature Pogo, and he usually has a little heart etched in there as well. So it's got Pogo on one side, Kendon A, Kendon B on the other two. You want the best sounding copies of this album, first pressings, are those Kendon Recorders mastering copies. I did a whole video on Kendon Recorders. Basically, it was an old mastering house in Burbank, California. Kent Duncan was the main engineer. Check that out if you haven't seen it. Anyway, so this record blows away another copy that I have, and this copy was actually a club, so you can see that there's a sticker, Columbia House Records, on the back. Other than that, the early pressings have a really beautiful textured cover. This has actually got the same textured cover on this copy. But I'm telling you, if you can get a Kendon copy, this thing blows this thing out of the water. There is a wonderful wide soundstage, totally dynamic. What I did is I did an A/B test, and I put on Over My Head. I just wanted to play one song, the Christine McVie, nice song on side one, and it's got some very intricate, tasteful acoustic finger picking by Lindsey Buckingham. Well, that first stanza, when Buckingham comes in with the little finger picking, sounds just amazing on my system. And you go on to Hoffman forums and people will talk about this Kendon pressing for this album. And there was an early MoFi release, and then there was a 2012 reissue cut at Bernie Grundman by Chris Bellman, I believe. Everybody says that this early Kendon pressing, you need to find Kendon in side A and side B, blows them out of the water, and it severely blows out your kind of bog standard issues as well, especially the club. So in this case, I have a clear-cut winner as far as an upgrade, and very pleased to be adding this to my collection. I'm going to probably list this club version that I have on Discogs, or bring it back into a different store for some credit, and move on. So the same visit in the same shop, I also found, here's a great example of what I've been talking about, Cosmo's Factory. I don't know if you can see that, but the shrink is there. This is a Hollywood press on that gorgeous Fantasy Royal Blue label. This thing is basically mint. It was $7. I went on Discogs, and first of all, there were no near mint or mints available. VG Plus was going for $60. So That just tells you, I don't know what their pricing policy is or how they're coming to their prices, but totally ridiculous. Now, the quandary that I have here with Cosmos Factory, I have another copy of this, and you'll see that the cover, it's got a bunch of ring wear. It's actually kind of bent in a couple places. The good news is, first of all, I'll just, cover condition doesn't really bother me. It's all about the actual vinyl record. But in this case, I also have found a near mint, very, very early press. And this is actually a Deep Groove copy. So Deep Groove, you can actually see in that label, there's an indentation in the actual label here. That's known as a Deep Groove. And those were early pressings. Also, this particular album, I would say it's probably about 140 grams. It's a heavier weight vinyl than that other copy that I found. I'm thinking that the other copy I found is actually a Dynaflex. But, again, I did an A-B, and I played that new copy. I just wanted to do one song. Ramble Tamble is an amazing 7-minute track on side 1. And I put Ramble Tamble on that newer copy that I picked up the other day. Dead silent, sounds amazing, very, very dynamic. And I put on the Deep Groove heavier vinyl, the copy that I already have, very similar, very, very, very slight surface noise in between songs, but that is it. I mean, totally dynamic. So I think what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to do kind of what we call a Frankenstein. I'm gonna keep this shrink wrapped cover and put in my Deep Groove very, very early press. They're both Hollywood presses as well, which is pretty highly regarded as far as this particular album. But yeah, and then I'm going to, I don't know, I'm probably going to list the copy that I got the other day that I think is on Dynaflex. Not always a bad thing. And put it in the old cover and probably list it on Discogs. So in that case, it wasn't really a clear cut as far as the actual sound quality of the records. They're both almost equal in my opinion. I like to have the Deep Groove and the heavier vinyl pressing, and I'll let this other one go. But picked it up for $7. I'm gonna turn around and maybe flip it for 50. Next. So this is a third situation, and same visit, same shop. I found an original press, the Discrete Records apostrophe Frank Zappa. A little bit of ring wear, but again, you can tell that this is not going anywhere. It's already I already have it in the rice paper sleeve. Love that Discrete label. Take a look at the gloss and shine. This is basically a mint copy. I put on side 1, Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. Sounds amazing. So in this case, I'm going to hold on to this because a few years ago, I went out. First of all, it's very, very difficult to find decent quality Zappa records here locally. They're usually beat the hell or just non-existent in the racks. So I was really pleased to find that. However, I have the Zappa records, put out by the Family Trust. This was cut by Chris Bellman as well. It's 180 gram reissue pressed at Palace. Fantastic. But I put on that first press and I put this on. Again, Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. I personally, I couldn't tell any difference. But I am going to hold on to this reissue. It's nice to have. And it's a quality pressing. Put out by the Zappa Family Trust. I think they've put out almost everything now that Frank and more. They do a great job. But anyway, I was very excited to find this in that shop as well. So there are 3 different upgrade scenarios. One where I've got a clear-cut winner. 2, sound quality is basically equal, but I've got a better cover, so I'm going to kind of assemble a new package there, and that'll be the main record in my collection. 3, I found an original copy that I love, and I'm going to hold on to the reissue as well, because it's a really nice example of that album. And who knows, maybe I'll unload one down the road, but until I run out of room, I'm going to hold on to both. I forgot I have another scenario on an upgrade copy, and this is actually kind of a cool one. This was at a different shop. I was actually checking out, bought a couple records, and that I'm going to show in a minute from that shop. And they had a milk crate sitting on the counter of things that they were pricing. And I said, oh, yeah, are these going out onto the shelves? Yeah, we're still working on pricing. Do you mind if I, just hit a quick look through? Oh, yeah, sure. Actually, the first 5 or 7 are already priced. Okay. So at the top of the stack was Steely Dan's Greatest Hits. This, was released in 1978. It's got the extra bonus track Here at the Western World, which is fantastic. And the copy that you want is on the original. Awesome photography as well. This is the gatefold. You want the early ones that are on the ABC label. Let's take a quick look at that label. This is the one known as kind of the 8th note ABC. Rainbow concentric circles with that 8th note. There we go. Also, this was mastered, at least the early pressings was mastered by Robert Ludwig. And there are versions of this with the RL etched in all 4 sides. This is a double LP. I've never found one. On this particular one that I found, that is now my main copy in my collection, there is an RL on side B of the first album. All others have got master disc. They all 4 have master disc stamped, but I only have one RL. Regardless, I played this thing and it just sounds absolutely incredible. All of these songs, some of these songs sound better than the original Steely Dan pressings. And there doesn't appear to be any kind of a reissue program in the cards as far as audiophile pressings for Steely Dan anytime soon. We don't know what the condition is of the masters or if they're even available. So I was very, very stoked to find this. Now I have 2 other copies in my collection. I was on vacation in Michigan about a month ago, and I was semi-excited to find this. Also, the earlier copies have got a really nice textured cover. I don't know if you can see that. And they're also, gatefolds. So I was happy to find this. I thought, oh, great. This looks like an early copy. Also on that same ABC label. You can see that ABC logo in the bottom as well. However, you know, MCA eventually bought ABC Records, and this has got that gold MCA stamp on it right in the middle of the cover. And upon closer inspection, first of all, that day, I talked about this in a previous video when I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I was a little bit rushed. My wife was with me, and I didn't have time to like check every side. Turns out there's no RLs in any of these sides. Saying that, you know, this still sounds quite good, but the fact that I've got the RL now in the other copy, I'm holding on to that. And I have a third copy. So this is basically what you want to avoid. This is the later reissue that MCA put out. You can see it's got that specially priced, you know, hype sticker on it. You know, they cheaped out. There's no gatefold. They've got 2 records cut or jammed in here. It's on the MCA label as well. Dead giveaway, you've got a barcode on it. So this must have come out sometime during the 1980s to be avoided. So this is going back for credit somewhere. Anyway, so there's another clear-cut upgrade winner. Those are the things I think about. First of all, you always think about condition of the record, provenance of the record. Was it an earlier pressing? You know, in the case of the CCR album, I had that early deep groove record that I am deciding to hold on to. And I'm going to let that other copy go, even if it is near mint. I really don't need it. May as well spin it out there and use that money to buy some more records. So that is my little blurb today about my whole upgrade copy philosophy. Okay, now I want to go and talk about some new arrivals to my collection. I've got 2 used copies I'm going to show, and then I've got 3 new releases. Some of this stuff was, you know, released a while ago, but sitting in the shelves of a great record shop I'm going to mention in a minute. First of all, let's talk about the used things I found. Back to Zappa. You know, I will occasionally see copies of Joe's Garage out there, but they're just beat to hell. And this thing is on Zappa Records. It's an original press. This is a fantastic album. I actually have, there's an Act 2 and 3 album as well that kind of accompanies this set. I'm getting that on Discogs. I couldn't wait anymore. I've been looking for the whole Joe's Garage Act 1, 2, and 3 forever, and was really excited to find this at that shop where I got the Steely Dan's Greatest Hits when I was at the counter and they showed me that. So I already picked this up. 27 bucks. Happy to pay it. This is a really nice copy. The last thing I want to show as far as used is concerned is a really, really good album from Ryan Adams and the Cardinals, Cold Roses. This has got a gorgeous textured cover. It is a gatefold, double album. Released in 2005. This is a first pressing. Who put this out? This was out on Lost Highway. That's the back cover showing all the songs. If you don't know this album, it's got a very, very distinct Grateful Dead jammy vibe to it. Pretty good songwriting from Ryan Adams. The Cardinals, of course, fantastic album. This has got Catherine Popper on bass. Fantastic bass player. You know, Ryan Adams, a little bit politically incorrect. Some people have canceled him with his situation, his handling of women. Not going to get into it. I do love this album, though, and was really happy to find it out in the wild. So it was a good day at that shop. Second part of New Arrivals, I've got 3 brand new albums I wanted to talk about briefly. And I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite shops in Colorado. It's Eagle Valley Music and Comics. They are in the picturesque town of Minturn, Colorado, which is just as you go over Vail Pass. There's a little town of Minturn. Very cool little village. It's on a river. A few good restaurants and a couple vintage stores. Great fly fishing store in town as well. And then you've got Tom's store, Eagle Valley Music and Comics. He has an incredible backlog of Record Store Day releases. He's got them separated by year and by drop. And if you missed anything, you can go in there anytime and kind of peruse through. And I have picked up a few things that, from Record Store Days 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, great shop. He is all new. He doesn't sell used. But anyway, so I was in there in the middle of a business trip, had some time to kill. This is something that came out in the end of 2019. This is The Who's current latest album. Quite good. I remember watching Pete Townsend on Instagram during the recording of this. He would put up snippets and videos of the recording process. And there's a lot of good songs and good playing on this record. Pino Palladino is on bass, of course, and their drummer, Zach Starkey, is fantastic. Other cast of characters are involved. Daltrey's in pretty good form as far as his voice is concerned, and some great playing by Pete. So happy to add that to the collection. Another one of my favorite kind of alt-Americana, alt-country bands out of Minneapolis, of course, is the Jayhawks. And this is a reissue of this Smile album. They kind of switched up their sound a little bit. They had Bob Ezrin, famous producer, behind this album with them. This is the Smile album. It's got, looks like it's got an actual extra side of some demos. Haven't even had a chance to listen to that yet, but this is a great album. Back cover. This was on the American label. Used to be Rick Rubin's label. And originally released, I think this came out 2005 maybe. Anyway, another new one that I'm happy to add. Finally, one of my most favorite artists out there. He was the last concert I saw before the whole pandemic lockdown. Early 2020, he was performing at a place here in Fort Collins. Fantastic venue, Washington's. That's John Hyatt. And he's got a new 2021 release that I picked up during that visit at Eagle Valley Music and Comics. This is along with the great Jerry Douglas. Again, haven't even had a chance to listen to this yet. It's on New West Records. Leftover Feelings. Shout out to Mazzy. I think he featured this in one of his Mazzy's Mix videos. And wasn't even aware that Hyatt had that album out, and I was in the store after I saw that video from Mazzy and said, oh, okay, part 3, channel updates. Wanted to let everybody know that I was recently interviewed by Rachel, the Music Ma'am. She's got a fantastic, she streams, the vinyl community streams almost every day, I think, multiple times a day. She's got a great channel. Make sure you check that out. And she also does a bunch of VC contest participation as well. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you again to Rachel. I really appreciate you taking the time to include me. Rachel has a bunch of vinyl community interviews where she actually takes about an hour with different individuals and talks about their journey back into vinyl and things like that. So if you have an extra hour to spare and you'd like to learn more about me, I'm going to drop a link to that interview in the description. Thanks again, Rachel. I want to say thank you, everybody who's watching and commenting. If you're new to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would, if you liked the video, press the like button. Consider subscribing. You know, the YouTube algorithms are crazy. It's hard to keep track of them. You never know if a video is going to hit the jet stream. Personally, I've been very lucky. I've had a couple videos that have hit over 40,000 views, which is crazy. But I think it helps, it definitely helps kind of getting your videos and channel on the radar. The more likes and more subscriptions that you have. I am incredibly flabbergasted to announce that I just won over 4,200 subscribers for a channel that I kind of started on a whim at the end of January of this year. So I'm coming up on 7 months into this, and I'm really enjoying it. I want to keep on doing more videos, more content. To that end, when I hit 5,000 subscribers, that's a BFD, if you know what I mean. I'm crazy. And you know, at that point in time, I think I've built up an audience. People enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm looking around at other channels out there who are selling T-shirts and merch. And I think I'm going to jump on that train. So I'm going to start researching some T-shirt designs. I've already come up with a very cool hologram sticker. This is not your run-of-the-mill sticker, folks. This is kind of a high-end sticker. I'm going to basically put up a little merch store once I hit 5,000. Hopefully I'll hit 5,000 subscribers. Anyway, I just want to give you a heads up. If you want to help support my channel at that point in time and pick up a t-shirt or some stickers, that would be fantastic. I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be coming back this week with at least 2 more videos. That's the plan right now. I've got full motion on my... wait a minute, that's not the right shoulder. This shoulder, I almost have full motion back. A few people commented on my last video and said, hey, feel better. Thank you very much. I don't know. I was almost ready to go to resort to some CBD ointment or gummies. But I ended up using extra strength Tylenol and what was the other? Asper cream patches. They actually did the trick, but I'm 4 days into it, and I'm almost over this, but my God, the first night, the first day I woke up and had this, when I tried to go to sleep the next night, 2 hours of sleep max is all I got. So, not recommended to wake up with a incredible pain in your shoulder. I guess it's I'm getting old. Hey everybody, have a great day, and hope to see you back on my next video. Thank you very much.